Flatbush. I bet you they can hear that.
They probably can. That's how it goes down in Flatbush. So are we gonna introduce ourselves? Do we introduce ourselves on the podcast?
I mean, I guess it depends on like what our level of expectation is. Like, do we think we're that dope that someone's going to listen?
Well, I mean, if you're listening, you want to know who you're listening to.
Okay.
Because
you want
that helps
my
you.
government or my alias?
Your alias.
Because we just heard the sirens.
Your alias. I'll bring an alias. I've got an alias.
None of that Meshack and big good. No.
That could be my alias. Or not.
You are Jay Green and I am Dana Green.
Okay, then there you go. And that's your answer.
And we are...
Well, you
we are a bit full of ourselves to the point that we think that we have the right to define the aesthetics of black cool.
Okay.
What else?
What did we say what we do for a living?
I don't think anybody needs to know that. I mean, I don't want to be tracked down.
All right. And then so...
But you could say, like, you've done...
Oh, I work in advertising. Like, I work in advertising. I think that's the interesting thing. Because I work in advertising, I work in media. And so most of the things I say, I guess, would be through that lens or through a mass media lens. It could be slanted because of the way I look at things or the way I...
You also had a magazine.
Yeah, I had a magazine. That was a long time ago, but I had a magazine. And a literary magazine. Poetry, prose, short fiction, photography, art, that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, we've lost our listeners at this point. Okay, so what are we talking about?
We're talking about music. This is each week we'll do like a topic, and we talk about our viewpoint or black cool, so the definition of black cool in that context.
And the name of this podcast is?
We Be Cool.
No. We Real Cool.
We Real Cool. We Real Cool. Yes, for the Gwendolyn Brooks poem. Yes. Okay, so today we're talking about music. Yes.
Okay, so my thought is, how do you define black cool within the lens of music? What determines whether you are black cool or not?
Well, I think I start off with kind of defining what black cool is for me. And so a big part of that is social responsibility. Like, I can't get away from it. I can't, the whole aspect of what you're doing has greater context and meaning. And so that's a big component. And I think that's what would make my list or my choices different from an average one. But then also I think influence, just was what you did popularly received. And then real true excellence, like were you really good at what you did? So not only were you popularly received, but you're actually like really good. So those three things. And then is it cool? Like do I vibe with it? Do I dig it? Do I like it? Those four things, I guess. That's my.
I guess what's interesting about that is because I feel like some people fall off of my list because of social responsibility or personal responsibility. So like yeah. We're not naming names yet.
No.
But there's a person who I think is the essence of black cool who I don't think I could personally name, and I will name who they are and why they're not on the list because of personal choices or actions. And it gets hard.
Yeah, it does. But it's not supposed to be easy. Like it's not It's not one of those easy things where anybody can be excellent. It takes compromise. It takes sacrifice. It takes not doing the things that you want to do. That to indulge yourself. Like you make that compromise, whether it's the hours it takes to practice or the money that you would rather spend on vacation, actually spending it on your craft or your mission. It takes so many compromises to achieve that.
But I think black cool is, for me, like the thing that's, I would add to yours, would be swagger. Like there's something about an ease with which one does it that makes it black cool. Like it's that thing that's ingrained that you can't teach.
Gotcha.
It's the reason why Justin Bieber might be able to dance, but he can't dance like a black kid because he doesn't have that thing. It's the
soul
thing we pick up. Yeah, the soul is exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Or the idea that like even soul food comes from not being able to have the choice pieces of meat or food, and you're cooking with what's left, and then you turn it into something so dope.
Yeah.
People are begging for that and not, the prime rib. That's the essence of
making the most out of the least. I will be given the least, but I will make it into the most.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is social responsibility in that regality with which we can carry ourselves. Which brings me to my first choice for music and black cool. Can I just jump into it?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first choice is Nina Simone.
She's on my list.
Okay.
She's on my list. She's up there. She's up there.
And I think it's because she's unapologetically, or was unapologetically, who she was.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be black, whether that be, classical, fused with soul and roots and jazz, that she just made this mashup her thing.
Yeah.
She was not what many would call a classic beauty, but she's regal and beauty and celebrated her appearance, and you had to bow down. And so for those reasons, and I wanted to make sure also that I represented for the women, she is for me the essence of black cool.
Yeah. I second that. I second that. For many reasons, not just the ones you named, but like the civic responsibility that she was committed to. Just the unbridled voice that she was committed to. I kind of really dug that. But also,
I love how you're the activist on this particular part of the podcast, and not me. That you are repping social responsibility. You've got a placard on it, and that ain't even your style. That ain't even you.
But also, she represents the whole excellence, because she can sing a slave song and make it awesome, but she's also a Juilliard trained classical musician.
Yeah.
So she's all those things without one needing to compromise the other. Like it's the,
and she's affirming black culture and our space within a classical stance, as well as affirming what is, great and important about our folk music.
Yeah, and when she does the folk music, it's not even as if she's trying to brush it up and make it classical. She's like committed to what it sounded like in its origins, which is dope. It's dope. It's dope.
So who was one of your choices?
She was one of my choices. And I had a bunch of choices. So I had like 10 choices. One? I gave you the first one was TV on the radio.
Oh, that's an awesome one. That's my. Why are you being me right now? Get out of my soul, you soul snatching. How dare you come on a podcast celebrating black culture and try to steal my funk? You don't get to choose TV on the radio. No, you do. Go ahead. That's an awesome choice.
I mean, TV on the radio, because, alright, so they're
such a good choice.
They're a Brooklyn group.
We ain't making no apologies for whoever doesn't know who they are. That's why you're listening. You go Google it.
No, I'm not trying to explain them. I'm just trying to give reasons why they were my black cool.
That is awesome.
Man,
that's good.
they do just such interesting work. Like it's interesting work. Not all of it is always my favorite. I can't say I'm digging all the tracks, but the ones that I do dig scream out with like a soul. It just kind of screams out at you, and it's interesting work. It's always interesting work, and I like I heard the story like they started as a karaoke group or something like that. Something it sounds crazy, but it's almost like the essence of folk music. It's modern folk music where the dudes just come together. It's almost like they're like Brooklyn's black, I don't know, Dave Matthews Band or something like that. I don't know. But they're like folky, but modern. What are
they're
Brooklyn...
electronic. I don't know if I get the folky part.
Well, the folky part is like the honest vocals, I think. And it's funny because it's funny because a lot of like even I'm singing now, like I sing, and some of what I do is folky because it's just me and a guitar, but it's inspired by electronica, and it's got a certain rhythm and a certain cadence, and so sometimes I miss posted things as electronica when it's really like folk, and so there's some common thread there that's interesting to identify.
Let's not ride this folk train through the whole thing.
All right.
But that is a great choice.
And yes, and that's one of the reasons why I brought up TV on the radio, because I wanted to make it contemporary and modern. But there's something about them is folky to me. It just feels that way. But anyway, that's my next one. So you go next. And then, are we going back and forth? Do I go through?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
We can. This was going to sound random, and I will bring it forward into this time. When I think about the sound of, like, part of the sound of Black Cool, one of the people that came to mind was Roy Ayers.
Roy Ayers is dope.
I don't know a ton about him as a person, but just
a definitive sound.
Sound, and also
feel.
like when he's using the vibes.
Yeah.
There's something that's like soft but cool about that. There's one particular song, if we can infuse it in here, that would be dope. It would
we can do
like
that.
Right here. And we're back. But there's something super funky and fun and
well, you have to name the song so we know what song it is.
I don't know the name of the song with the vibes. I'll find it for us.
All right.
But
can you do a little tune like do 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 do?
It's something really like soft that reminds me of a black neighborhood as the sun is like at dusk. It's something like that's kind of funky but very like soft and easy. But then he's also extremely celebratory. He's the music you hear in the backyard and everybody in the family can dance to it.
Well,
whether
that
it's like
reminds me of
running
mine
away.
next. Well, one that would deserve honorable mention. That real backyard family dancing.
Maze?
Oh yeah, man.
How did I know that's what you're...
Well, that's a definitive,
yes.
Backyard family dancing is Frankie Beverly and Maze. Happy feelings in the air. That's like classic.
Well, you're talking to a Philly girl, so I mean...
Okay.
I'm gonna always take Maze.
Yeah, that's definitive, like, black barbecue, good time.
And cool. Think of Frankie Beverly with the cap, like
Oh,
the way
yeah.
he just...
And he's always got like the fresh linen gear, like he's always clean.
Yes.
With the cap, like it's yeah.
And Roy Ayers with the "We Live in Brooklyn, Baby."
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, searching. I'm just that whole sound.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. He's got a sound.
Cool.
He's got yeah. I mean, that brings me to another honorable mention. Is Erykah Badu.
That was mine. That was one of mine.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I mean, she wasn't on my list.
Oh, no, she was on my list.
Yeah. I mean, I thought of her on my list, but it seemed kind of obvious. And then one person I wanted to mention is...
Can I just say this about her?
Yes.
I think she could be seen as obvious, but I feel like the reason that I really wanted to put her on the list was after seeing her live. Like, there's something about how comfortable she is and, like, in that space that she rocks that makes her Black Cool for me. It's not the big head wraps and bringing awareness, although I think it's awesome, the impact that she had. Like, it was almost like at the same time that there was like the influx of Little Kim and maybe girls were putting on pink wigs or something, there also were, you know, young women who were wrapping up their head. And neither one was necessarily, like, they were both probably reactions to influence that they had. Just like, well, is there such a bad thing that a girl starts rocking some African fabric and puts a head wrap on? It was just kind of dope. But we also have to give her props for, like, it did impact the aesthetic even.
Oh yeah. Oh, it had resounding impact.
And musically, I think, like, from where she went with Baduism to, like, Mama's Gun is Black Cool.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then that New America joint?
Yes.
Oh, she had some joint with the RZA on there that I'm gonna rap. It's dope. Like that album, I think, is kind of slept on. Like that was dope.
And I think that was wasn't that album born out of like touring and kind of just jamming? But it wasn't writer's block, was it? It was just like, but it was like working out music, not like this is a project.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. But you know what? Maybe she'll listen and she'll tell us.
Maybe.
One can dream. So who's your next person? Oh, well, yeah, go ahead. Because she was your honorable mention.
Yeah, she was my
But
honorable
she was
mention.
my person, so I had to just say what I needed to say about her.
I hear you. Next person. Well, all right. This is gonna be a double.
Are you trying to?
I'm trying to sneak more people in because I probably have more people on my list than you have on your list. So I'm gonna just double it up because they make good counterparts. First is Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Just because, number one, just starting from what everybody knows about Jimi Hendrix, is like one of the top guitarists of all time.
But what makes him Black cool?
Well, first to me, coming up, when I discovered like rock music, it made it permissible for me to like it. Like I could stand behind it, and it made it possible for me to say to whether it was white people or black people that said I shouldn't like this music. It was like, dude, fuck off. So it gave me a flag to post or something to stand on.
Your freak flag.
Yeah. But then when I got into his music, number one, his music was just like, the actual music itself is incredible. And you just discover this artistry. There's this level of artistry in what he's doing. Not only with the sound, but the lyrics themselves. He's telling these stories that are so rich and incredible.
But we know he's dope. He is Black cool because...
He's Black cool because when you look at the lineage of his work, it's so diverse, man. Not only is there the Jimi Hendrix that we all know, but there's the Jimi Hendrix that, you know, played with the Isley Brothers and the Chitlin Circuit and just all this deeper stuff. Even when you look at, we're talking about how he's a left-hand guitarist and he learned how to play just every which way, like right-hand guitar strung left-handed guitar strung right-handed. And that showed an excellence, that back to that excellence and that training to just be phenomenal. And he was a political figure. Like, whether it was the fact that, you know, he played one of the most interesting renditions of the American anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, at a time when black people politically struggled with the whole idea and concept of being American. And then the fact that his music scored basically the Vietnam War in a lot of people's minds.
Do you think he was intentionally political, or do you think he...
I think when you're...
Does that matter?
It doesn't matter. I think when you're in that position, you have no choice. Him being black, him playing the music for the audience that he was playing to, and the things that were happening around him made him political.
I agree with you, but I do think it matters. I think it's why Questlove can challenge rappers to make protest music. I think it's why you put, like, you who understand, like, the power and the amount of people listening, when you have the nation's ear, you need to rep what you believe, and you need to believe in speaking on behalf of your people who are not heard. And so I do think it matters. I do think that what he did is political. Even in the choice of saying, like, this is what I want to play and I'm going to play it even though this is not what you guys think I should play. I agree with you, but I do think that there is a social responsibility, if you will, that you were mentioning that does impact whether or not I say Black Cool.
I get it.
But I agree with him being on the list. But I have...
Well, to answer your question, I'll say I don't think he was political on purpose.
I don't either.
I think he was playing music and getting high. Let's
talk about that, because this is like the person who is absent from my list and so far from yours is Miles Davis. And Miles Davis is, to me, quintessential Black Cool, but I can't put you there because your life was problematic. You were bragging about beating your wife. Like, I can't say that ain't Black Cool to me. And it's interesting to have this discussion because I still listen to his music. He's like, I can't not listen to it, but I can't put him on my list. I can't put him on my list. I mean, you could, if I were to talk about it like in terms of sound, like mentioning Roy Ayers, obviously, I mean, he goes on the list, and so my
I mean, you could put him in the same. What would you say about Bill Cosby?
He ain't on my list. He's not on my list, but my point was that, like, it's interesting to talk about this because Jimi Hendrix obviously had some drug problems. He was obviously unintentionally political, and yet he makes a list. And so I guess my question is, how much does someone's personal...
Intention?
No, someone's personal issues, like slapping your wife and laughing about it,
I would say
impact whether or not you would consider them Black Cool.
Not as much as your list. For the same reason that we wouldn't consider Martin Luther King any less of a political leader, even though he had personal issues.
I'm not talking about smoking some cigarettes and sleeping with somebody while you're on the road to freedom. I'm talking about you were beating women and you're...
Well, that's Miles Davis, but that's not Jimi Hendrix.
No, I think Jimi Hendrix should be in there. I think there's a fine line. I do. So what I'm saying is I agree that Jimi Hendrix should be on there. I think, like, how do you not talk about many of our great artists were addicts.
I wouldn't blame anybody for being an addict.
But there is a social responsibility, like, the importance of family and a family unit within our culture as a people. Like, you can't beat your wife and make my list. You just are not going to do it.
No.
Shouts out to Cicely Tyson. She just had a birthday.
Dope. She's still working. She was just in a play just like this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I said I was going to bring it up, but I'm actually going to take it further back. Duke Ellington is Black Cool.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. That is...
Most definitely. Duke Ellington is the epitome of it because he is the epitome of everything we were talking about. He is everything.
He is aesthetically...
Oh, yeah.
So clean, so crisp, so full of swagger.
But yet still true to the soul.
So true to the soul, and then just the sound itself.
Yeah.
The idea of swing in and of itself. Like, we've talked about it before, that I'd say that Biggie, I'm not the first person to say this, is a swing rapper. His flow, if you will, is swing. So, like, at the same time that you think, bands overall are gone or whatever, that influence is still there.
Yeah.
And it's dope. And I take the A train.
Yes, yeah. Oh, but the other part to my Jimi Hendrix, that was actually a two-parter, because there's Jimi Hendrix, and then the other part is let's a two-parter, actually a two-parter plus an honorable mention. There's
you stay trying to slide more stuff in. Go ahead. I got 30 seconds on Duke Ellington. You're like, but back to what I was saying. Have you met me? The people want to hear from Jay Green. Go ahead.
So there's the second part. This is a Pinot Noir.
Okay, they didn't need to know that. But go ahead. I just needed you to pour it.
Real loud. They're gonna hear something
Okay.
pouring.
Well, you could have been more subtle. You could have poured a little more, but that's all right. Go ahead. The second part.
The second part is Gary Clark Jr. He's a guitarist out of Texas.
Are you going to do this to the podcast?
Well, some people.
Pull out people that only you know. Your friend that you worked with back at home.com. We don't know who that is.
He's a guitarist out of
We know
Texas.
Stanley Clark, and we barely know him. Who is Gary Clark Jr.?
He's a guitarist out of Texas. Phenomenal guitarist. Like he's. Anyway, all right, never mind.
You are messing up the discussion.
Well, my other honorable mention was going to be Andre 3000.
That's an awesome one.
It's an honorable mention. I don't think he's mature to be
Sure
mentioned.
he is. Sure he is.
Like Miles Davis. Come on now.
Miles
Come
Davis
on.
is not on the list.
That's right. Or
He
Nina
ain't on my
Simone.
list.
Or, you know.
Listen, there are
He's not
variations
Nina
to this, and
Simone.
I'm just starting off with what I want to be big. I named Roy Ayers. People don't like top of mind think Roy Ayers. It's not about being the
I know.
biggest. Andre 3000 is black cool. He is absolutely.
He is.
You know that
Yeah.
like on their most recent tour, he felt like a sellout. He said he was there because he wanted to. You know, there was a monetary thing, and he had committed to doing it, but he didn't feel like he felt conflicted about doing songs that were like 15 years old, and he's not in that place anymore, and it didn't feel genuine, and so he made that jumpsuit and he put a saying on it. Some of them were political, some of them were just silly.
Yeah, I saw
But-
one. He said, around the world, darker people suffer more.
Yeah.
Why? And that was interesting.
So he is somebody who is not afraid to be outside of the box. He is not afraid to speak his mind, to be political. He's not afraid to experiment with his sound, to push himself further,
That's true.
to borrow influences. Are you kidding me? Ha ha. What's that fuss?
Yeah,
Come
or
on,
even like
we gotta
Barnes Over
remember.
Baghdad that had like the electronica beat.
The furry pants, the furry boots, the
Yes.
white wig. Are you
Listen.
kidding me?
Listen,
He is black cool, and he's on that list, and he earned it, and he deserves to be on the list.
I said it. I said it. I'm the one who said it.
I was thinking, I was conflicted with whether I wanted to say A Tribe Called Quest or just Q-Tip, because I
think you have
that,
to say a Tribe Called Quest.
I
There would
think
be
so
no
too.
Q-Tip without Tribe Called Quest.
Well, that's true.
Those first albums were instrumental to that sound, that whole culture.
I mean, he's
But there would-
instrumental to the sound, and that's
he
why
is instrumental to the sound, but there would be none of that without the whole team. I don't think.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, because Ali Shaheed Muhammad is instrumental in that
Yeah.
sound. Jerobi, I mean, they all are.
And
So,
Five. I mean,
yes,
Five. I
yes.
mean, yeah.
And I think I picked them because they were not afraid to be, dramatically different early on with so you're shaping the sound. You're fairly early in, hip hop's life, and you choose to be different and do this thing that has everybody wondering what's happening, and you build a collective, which
Yeah.
is a very Afrocentric thing. You build a collective that is still to this day a thing.
Yeah.
I
It'll
think
always
that's
be a
dope.
thing. It'll
I
be
think-
forever a thing.
I think
Like it was the modern day Rat Pack.
it was,
That was-
but
yeah.
with an Afrocentric twist that made
Yeah.
it made us rock medallions, and I mean,
Yeah.
it was
and stop
awesome.
killing each other in the street and all
Yes.
that other crazy stuff. Yeah.
But still cool.
Yeah.
Still cool.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the jazz influence and the
Yeah.
sound and the evolution of the sound and the creativity
Yeah.
and the difference in their styles. Q-Tip and Fife are would seemingly be like conflicting sounds, and it just worked. And
Well,
it's dope.
my if I had one that was in that vein would be Public Enemy.
I thought about Public Enemy too.
Public Enemy, because I think they were a responsible and intelligent voice in hip hop when hip hop was just stupid. I think they.
Well, that was. I don't know if I'd say it was stupid.
well,
They were more political than the native tongues. Well,
No,
they were more overtly political, but they're coming out around the
yes,
same time.
I don't
so
want to say
it's
stupid.
stupid.
When I say stupid, I'm not really. there was a lot.
Listen, you come from Miami, so
Yeah,
like,
that's actually
all
what I
of
was
your
thinking about. I was
comments
thinking
stupid.
about like the Luther Campbells, the NWAs. Not that NWA was stupid.
You're digging yourself a hole bit. I just want to say, I don't agree with people. NWA could be considered black cool, but there's some misogyny in there that I have to work through. But anyway, I'm not here to defend NWA. I'm sure they can find you and do that themselves.
I'm sure. Never mind. I can edit this.
Alright. I don't think we should throw out a ton of these and think people are going to be super, super interested, but what else is on your list? Because you ain't interested in mine. You just got a list of honorable men. You haven't put anybody back on the list in like 25 minutes.
No, I think I'm toward...
You're afraid to commit.
No, I've got...
Well, we don't need to run through who we talked about.
Okay.
Who's on your list? Not an honorable mention. Don't dip your toe in the water. Jump your ass in the water and give us a person.
Well, I gave most of my people that I listed.
Okay.
Oh, you know who? There's one more. Well, actually, I'll take two more.
You'll take
First,
one more. One?
One more is Nat King Cole.
Awesome.
That's, yeah.
Tell us why he's on your list, because you like that cock. he had a cock that curled. You know, we say Luther had a troubled curl. He had a curl on that.
His was laid.
His laid.
It's laid.
It almost coiled.
But no, for a couple of reasons. Number one, impeccable style, impeccable taste. Like it's timeless taste. Like you could rock some of those suits today. Like you'd still be looking good. But also the social political aspect of who he was, the audience that he sang to, the fact that he was, I think, the first black person to have his own show. He had his variety show on. He had like a variety show where he did, he sang and then he had different guests on, and he was the first black person to have a network.
What about Ethel Waters? Is that her name?
I don't know.
Ethel, somebody's old black lady. She wasn't that nice to people.
She was like.
I don't know who came first. I'll Google it.
Yeah, but yeah, like so it was very early on, and just to be able to do that at that time, and just man, he meets that soul requirement. Like that sound is just. It's the whole package, man. That's the whole package. I remember even being a kid and saying it was.
Well, you were a strange kid, because I don't think most kids coming up in the 80s were like, that Nat King Cole is shit. Have you seen that haberdashery he's got going? I don't really think that's what was happening.
That's how I was rolling. That's how I was rolling.
That's
I was
how
like,
you were
look at that Cole style on. Okay. So are we done now?
I don't know that we're done.
Okay.
Because you can edit this down. I'm not editing this. I can, but I'm not going to.
Oh, that's right. I can. Yeah, I've got the world in my hands.
Yes. Because we don't want to bore people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like and maybe it's because they feel like peers, it's hard for me to pick people now and say, like, that's the essence of black cool. Maybe when we get to a different topic other than
well, you
want to
know why? Because it's tough to idolize people that are so close. Like it's
not
tough.
For many, not for most people. And
well, if you're a thinking
I think
person.
I could do that with other categories, which we'll cover. I don't know that I have, like, I really want to, I really kind of feel like Janelle Monáe is black cool.
She is.
And for many reasons, I talk about this all the time. I love the idea that when she first came out, she did like that android girl thing, like android woman thing. But like there are black artists who I think have felt pigeonholed, and so they use like almost like intergalactic alien or a counter. What's the word? Identity. Like even how Nicki Minaj used to do the British. No, well, she also used to do a British accent, like just using different kind of variations to keep people from putting you in a box.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that Janelle Monáe, by doing like the black and white and saying she's doing that for working, people, and she comes from a working class family, I think that's dope. I have that, and I have a certain amount of respect for people who, come from modest black backgrounds. I think we as black people always want to be, and that's okay, that's good. I mean, I want us to be excellent, but not everybody came from black bourgeoisie or were college educated. Yeah. Some of us were sharecroppers.
Yeah.
So I think that's dope. I think her style, I think the amount of mystery that she keeps around herself is really cool. I think her dance moves, which she is James Brown put in a beautiful, womanly, modern package. Everything about her it just seems to be on her terms. And I love that. And I love how she kind of has her foot in both places. So she's the face of CoverGirl, or a face for CoverGirl, but she's also like still this underground person that can play, Afropunk. And I think that's kind of intentional. I don't think that it's not, that she couldn't change her sound or do a song with, somebody else.
With Will I Am.
Yeah. Let's say her song with Erykah Badu, awesome. Not my favorite song on her album, but it was dope. Her song with Prince will make your head pop off. I think she is, for me, when I think about current people, she is black cool.
Well, you mentioned somebody who I'm surprised isn't on your list. So what about Prince?
Prince is everything to me. He is everything. Listen, there are people who are my favorites. We haven't talked about Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, well...
Political, come on, think about...
See, but the funny thing about it is, and I don't deny Stevie Wonder's a genius, and Stevie Wonder's awesome, and he's all those things.
Let me tell you why you didn't pick him, because he has some funny outfits. You didn't pick him
and
because
the hair.
And his
that dude can't
be
on the cool list with the hair.
Like,
you're not on the cool list.
They look like Bill Cosby's
He needs to
pajamas.
buff it out, man. Buff it out. I'll put him on my cool list. You gotta buff it out, man.
He probably is holding on to like, who is Stevie Wonder if I don't have these braids / dreads? I mean, I had the beads. I don't think he can't let that go. Plus, he's like, you see how long this is? If I could just bring some of it up.
He don't need any of that. He doesn't need any of that. He don't need any of that.
I don't know if I want to see Stevie Wonder with bald head. I don't know that that's going to make me feel good.
I think it'll be good. I think everybody's afraid of it, but I think it's the best thing.
Well, why don't you email him?
I think that's the best.
I think that
for everyone.
I think that Stevie Wonder is not that cool, but he is cool. Personality-wise, he doesn't look cool. He doesn't have the swagger piece of it.
Oh, I got the king.
Wait. But
okay, because I just got one. But
if I can go
go.
His lyrics, he's got. First of all, he has a song nobody knows, and it's called "We Don't Want You Living Here," and he talks about kind of. It's about trying to get an apartment in New York City or anywhere, and they don't. Yeah. You might have the cash, but you can't cash in your face.
Oh, Stevie Wonder's dope.
Happy birthday.
Oh, it's awesome. Awesome.
Blaster.
This is the haircut. And he's just not. You can't say he's cool.
You can't say he's cool. That's why he wasn't on my list. But I'm saying, like, in terms of sound.
Oh, he's awesome, but this is cool.
There.
This is black cool.
His sound is black cool.
That you have an argument on that.
I do, and
his sound is black
I'm
cool.
Talking about black cool in the vein of music, that's why I picked Roy Ayers. I said I don't know anything.
But you know who's black cool?
Give it to me.
Quincy Jones.
I thought about that actually because I thought about Killer Joe.
Yeah.
And he's cool. Like that dude has the swagger.
Oh, the dude has tons of swagger.
He's got the white girls.
Tons.
He does have swagger. And he has a sound. Most people don't know Quincy Jones, his own music.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And Killer Joe, that is black cool right there.
Yeah, it is. Another honorable mention is Herbie Hancock.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. Herbie Hancock.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
He's a Buddhist. I don't know how that falls into it, but I like it.
No, a lot of jazz musicians are Buddhists.
That's interesting. Why do you think that is? As former Buddhist. As an ex-Booty.
That's right. Well, yeah, because I used to be a Buddhist, and the jazz musician who taught me initially how to play guitar, he was Buddhist as well. I think a lot of artists end up disillusioned by religion, and Buddhism is good for Christians because it drops the pretense. It's all the good stuff, but none of the bad stuff.
Let me just make your head pop off.
What?
Because I studied this when I studied James Baldwin and Sonny's Blues. It's about a jazz artist. I think it's also about the contemplative nature of Buddhism, the idea of evolving the spirit, and how that plays into your need to take your music to a higher level and get to a place outside of everyday surface mental states.
Yes.
That I think also marries with Buddhism. Bloop! I'm Dana Green and I just said that, and I think that's dope.
That is dope. That is dope. I can dig it.
I hope the people like me. I'm just joking. I don't really think I'm dope, but it's just
You are dope.
I had something that I thought was good to contribute.
No, that is dope. That is dope. That is awesome. But yeah, that's yeah. Herbie Hancock honorable mention. Another honorable mention in Pear.
Stop putting these people on honorable mention. Herbie Hancock is dope, and he can go on your list. He did
So I didn't know there was a
for your
limit to the
watermelons.
list.
There is no limit. There's a limit to the list.
I don't know.
We're just doing this.
So we just on the stream of. Oh, okay. I'm learning.
Who's going to give us say we broke the rules? What are they going to take our podcast back?
Okay, I didn't know.
Is that what this has all been about?
I thought it was a limit. Like I was coming close to the limit. So I was saying.
So you put Nat King Cole on the list, but Herbie Hancock, he's a no-go. He can't get on the list. He can't get in.
Like on The Voice, you only have so many people.
Dude, there's nothing. No chair's going to spin around. We have nothing. This is a laptop and a microphone.
No.
Well, I mean, I'm
two
just
people
trying
on
to
the
keep
list. I would say specifically Questlove and Black Thought from the Roots.
I would just put the Roots on Black Hole. But, I mean, I hear what you're saying.
Well, okay. The
I
only
would
reason
put them
why
on
I call them out is because Questlove does like a lot for just music in general. Like he's always out there. He's like always, different places and stuff.
And those wooden bow ties really do it for you, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm a fan of traditional bow ties. I don't think a bow tie should be fooled with, adulterated.
Okay, I was just. We don't.
But like you can't have a Scrabble bow tie. That's just breaking the law. Uh-oh.
This has been Black Cool, brought to you by Dana, Green, and Jay, and now our baby. He should pause. You can't pause? I think there's a tendency, or I have a tendency to romanticize certain time periods when it comes to Black Cool, and that's also a challenge that makes it hard for us to talk about what's happening now. We're not in it because we're old. Like, if we were 20 or 25 and we were super into, Donald Glover or Childish Gambino.
I think Donald Glover's Black Cool.
I know, but you know what the difference is? His name is Childish Gambino. We call him Donald Glover because we're old. But anyway, we're not engaged. Like we engage with it, but we're not in it anymore. We're old. So anyway, my point is, I think I tend to romanticize other eras. Like Black Cool feels very 60s, 70s to me, but it also feels like it could be kind of 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
There's just this romanticism that happens, and so I wondered if you think of a time period when you think of Black Cool, or if that's just something I'm doing.
No, I don't think of one time period. Every I think of times of like Robert Johnson. It's like early
another one though. We'll do him on another podcast.
Not the business.
Oh no! Sorry, Robert Johnson. I thought you said Jack Johnson. All right.
No.
Fall back. Come on,
No.
fall back.
No, but yeah, that would be a sports one. But Robert Johnson, the blues player, was like influenced half of the rock and roll that came out of the 1960s. You know, and those blues players like Son House and those like early 1900s blues players who carried the voice of this black experience. They were all on to James Brown, on to, you know, Miles Davis, and, you know, everybody who comes after that. I think.
He didn't make the list.
Who?
Just kidding.
Oh, yes. I wasn't, but.
I'm kidding. I
Yes.
totally hear you. And I think you're right, and I don't think it's about a time period. I just think sometimes I get caught in
Yeah.
eras that I'm influenced by, and you are influenced by Robert Johnson, and,
Yeah.
you know.
One, it's not music. Never mind. I was going to throw another one in there, but it's not music.
Well, is there anything else you want to say about music and Black Cool? Because you're going to have to edit this down. I want this to be short and sweet.
Yeah, the only other honorable mention, or no, on the list, only one other person on the list, or two people on the list. I'll give you Fela Kuti.
Man, what am I doing? You don't even like him.
I don't, but I recognize it. I'll call that Black Cool.
Okay, let's. All right, go ahead. We're going to own that one because we're married, and I'm not going to let you have Fela Kuti by yourself.
Yes. And Celia Cruz.
I'm sorry, who?
Celia Cruz.
Okay, you've got that one. That's all you in the bag. What I will do right now is I will talk about Fela and say, absolutely, everything about that. I mean, now you're talking about like bridging cultures. You're talking about marrying sounds. You're talking about music that is for some people just coming to the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Politics, without question. Also, though, problematic. Like, I think that if I were closer to him in real time, I would talk about the fact that, like, he had a gazillion wives. He didn't believe he had AIDS, and his song "Lady" is a bit misogynistic. A bit is an understatement. It's interesting that you can live in this place of liberation and then think like there's no connection to that in women's rights. But as at the same time that his mother was also an activist, and they had this place, this compound that they thought was a sovereign area outside of Nigeria. But anyway, the sanction, what's it called? The sanctuary was the space that he had that he played in just about every night, and it was a space that allowed Black people to go and celebrate, and they almost called it church. I think they did. Like, it was this spiritual experience, but it was also a place with good things happening and music and all of that occurring versus what was happening outside in Nigeria, which I don't know about, but it didn't look good. Mm-hmm. Fela is dope. He is everything. He is still influencing music.
Yeah. I think, and just the amount of music that dude produces,
my God,
mind-boggling.
He had like 25 groups. He changed the name of the group, and you look it up. What's funny is I've Googled it before when he changed it to I forget what it was called, but it had like countries and numbers in it, and you put it in, and then if you Google that, you get soccer scores, or at least when I first discovered him, which was a while ago. Mm-hmm. But still in the age of the internet. It was like, are you looking for a soccer score? But he had a ton of groups, he did.
Yeah.
And amazing. And just, influenced other artists that...
Well, and another one, now that we're getting into people that are non-American, because initially my list was just all,
No, I think that's probably why I didn't come up with Fela, but that is a dope.
And the other one would be Bob Marley. I mean, just yeah, the global impact.
And
of
cool
his music.
meaning high.
No,
I'm
cool.
teasing. I'm teasing.
But he had the political relevance because he all the stuff that was going on in Jamaica at the time, but also the whole social ambition to bridge cultures between the West Indian and African American cultures.
And African.
Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff. And
remember, he's on stage with the 2 presidents in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And they shook hands.
Was that him or was that the?
If I'm wrong, you're gonna edit this out.
I'll edit it. Because I think it was Stanley, the Jamaican president, and like the British president or somebody. It was a Jamaican president and I think it was a British president or something like. Because I think that's what it was. Or no, the 2 warring factions in Jamaica or something like that. I think it was Jamaican when they were on stage. Because there was an assassination attempt on him. They got shot behind all that political shit in Jamaica.
All right. Listen, I made it up in my mind to be something else.
In your mind it was Mandela and the white dude, the clerk, whatever his name.
No, that's not what I'm thinking.
No, okay. We'll find out what it was.
Okay, well, if I'm wrong, just take that out and just go to your part.
Yes.
Okay. I don't need the people thinking I'm a bubblehead.
On the Jessica Simpson.
Yes. Is this chicken or is this tuna fish? I don't need that.
Anyway.
I agree with you, and I think that there's something about the overall kind of melody or vibe of his music that is like that easy, breezy, cool that I think we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one is Billie Holiday. Is black cool, I would say.
Okay, why so? I mean, now you just naming people you like.
Alright, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Because I would have gone, if I were going there, I would go Ella Fitzgerald. And I'd go there because I feel like she gave more personality.
I could totally see that. The reason I choose Billie Holiday. No, well, the reason I have more affinity for Billie Holiday out of all, is she had this unadulterated sadness. And I
hear you.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I mean, I guess I maybe am romanticizing the idea of black cool.
But anyway.
But it is unapologetic.
Yeah.
And it is in your face, and it is candid, and it is beautiful, and she has, my man is like the saddest.
Oh, it's like the saddest shit ever. It's like crazy.
But I don't really want to.
No.
I don't want to associate black cool with sadness, but there is that, and so.
But
it is. You're right. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I think it's like what they'd say, inextricably connected blackness and suffering.
They are. And because it is about, when we started, about the soul food aspect of it, it is taking that suffering and turning it into something new and creative and optimistic and awesome.
Yeah. Another one is
I was going to say
Mahalia
magical, but I don't want to. I don't want to give credence to the
magical
Negro facade, because it ain't magic. It's spirit and soul and guts that make us turn suffering into art and beauty.
Well, speaking of the spiritual aspect, I'd say on my list of black cool is Mahalia Jackson.
All right, you know what? You just named soul music. What do you think is cool about Mahalia Jackson? She's singing Negro spirituals and she could sing like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But that's the black suffering episode of We Real Cool. Mahalia Jackson ain't cool. She wore an old church lady wig okay, and a suit that she probably sewed her damn self. I'm not gonna allow you to put her on the list. And I think probably for her being unholy, she probably doesn't want to be on this list that we made while we're drinking wine, not taking communion.
Jesus drank wine.
Not as much as we've had.
What? And that wedding?
Listen, she's not going on the list. I'm not going to allow you to do it, okay?
She gets honorable mention with Stevie Wonder.
No.
Stevie Wonder needs a haircut, man.
Stevie Wonder's clothes are cool. Ish. They're colorful. You know, he's got the pants and shirts. You know, those pant sets. He's got pant sets. No.
I can't go along with that one.
I'm gonna say that Stevie Wonder is cooler. He had the Bill Cosby sweaters in the 80s. And when his braids were all in, they weren't so bad. Okay,
no,
they
when
were
they
full
were
on in. So no.
You know when the last time Stevie Wonder was cool? He was cool when he was 12 years old on stage singing Fingertips. He had that suit.
No.
That was cool.
He was cool when he was all the way up to his square circle with a part-time lover.
Oh.
When he was cool then. Stop it.
That was barely
Stop
cool.
it.
That part, the time lover, that was kind of corny.
Cool. Listen, we are now.
That song was corny.
I didn't say that was the song. I mean, that's not. But Love, Light, and Flight.
All right.
That girl.
That girl is dope.
Overjoyed.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You said part-time lover. That distracted me.
Well, that was the hit. It wasn't
It
my
was corny.
song.
No.
It wasn't corny.
It was
Let me tell you, even when Stevie Wonder is corny,
he's
he is
good.
dope. Like,
he is dope.
That's what friends are for. If you think about that
that's
song,
dope.
right? No, that song is corny. You get to his part. How's he open it up? You sing. I'm not gonna sing on the podcast. They cut to Stevie. It's not even the sense. Well, you came and opened me, and now there's so much more I see. And so, by the way, I thank you. Who starts a song off like that? Well,
I mean, listen, he's dope.
so even when he's on something corny, he was like, "I'm gonna flip this shit.
Listen,
Watch this. Y'all sing that Keep Smiling part."
I'm gonna compare. This is why Stevie Wonder doesn't make the list. I'm gonna compare Stevie Wonder to the guy that we've been dancing around, Miles Davis. They're both.
This is so freaking cool. He is so cool.
And that is that's the purpose of the list. Is people like that, like every facet.
He was cool from fashion.
If Miles Davis never blew a note in that horn, he would still be cool.
Except, guess what? It's not cool to beat your wife in the basement.
No,
so
it's
you
not.
can put him on the list if you want to stand.
I'm not saying. I'm just making that.
Oh no! Listen, so cool.
I'm
so
just
cool
saying.
he could turn his back on the audience and they still stood there and listened to him.
Yes.
But that's an asshole move. He's also on the list for being a dick.
Yes.
Cut that out. I don't want to be on the podcast saying D-I-C-K.
All right.
But listen, I get it. I think he's amazingly cool. Even when you read his book, first of all, every page has motherfucker on it. He is honest from his perspective, but he's just a sour. There's something not good.
And that's sad.
Like, there's something problematic with just about every relationship that he describes in that book. But there is something so cool. He's so cool that he got hooked on heroin late when it wasn't cool, and then he got off of it on his own, just like, I just decided I want to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody else just like, they just get taken out on a downward spiral. There is something cool, meaning that he just had a trajectory and he went after it and he experimented and he tried all kinds of things. Miles Davis doing sketches in Spain is cool, but I'm not going to talk about him this way because he's not on my list. He can't be. He needs, like, I want to put him on the list so hard, but I can't put him on the list.
On principle, I respect that principle. I respect it.
Yeah, but I
was using him as an example when comparing to Stevie Wonder. Like, if Miles Davis didn't even have that horn, he would still be cool. Like,
he'd also be scary. if he hadn't just slapped Cicely Tyson and bragged about it in the book, he would also still be scary. Because he just looked scary and he liked to fight. And I wouldn't turn my back on him. But you can. You ever see the cover of Tutu? No, thank you. No, I'll have none of that with my back turned. Matter of fact, I prefer for you to play with your back turned because I need to see where your hands, they don't need to be facing me. It's best if you turn your back. Everybody's more comfortable that way. And he looks like one of them old dudes that pull a pistol out of his sock or something. Like he'd have that pistol with the barrel on it. He'd shoot you with not a gun. You get shot with a pistol. He'd be nice with it, but he has a pistol.
Yeah. I'm just saying, he was cool.
I'm saying he's probably in the grave right now with his finger on his pistol. No, thank you. Okay, I think we have to wrap this up. I think it was awesome.
Cool.
Thank you for all of those who made your list and your 25 honorable mentions.
And yeah, that's it.